Episode 66. Will these comics make good film and television shows? We got DC and we got in some independents. Let's check it out right now. All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. I appreciate you spending your time with me, with my tirades of movies, television, comics, board games, all this stuff. And I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, and as well as a hopefully soon working line producer. I'm hoping to get back to work soon. Things have been slow to get started with the new year, especially when we're reaching the middle of February. So anyway, let's talk about this. But before we do, make sure to give me a like and subscribe if you can. I am trying to grow the channel out, so if you can ring the little bell, that would be awesome. Sorry if my face is a little red. I just shaved, so my face always gets a little red after I shave. So anyway, we have launched the late pledge for Lords of LA, which is my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. Also featuring Marilyn Monroe, if you want to check that out. We will be retiring certain covers and things like that, and they will also be autographed. So you can go to the link in the description below and grab one of those before I close it out. All right, thank you so much. If you can support it, I have like 10 more pages out of the 48 to get done. So anything you can do to help would be appreciated. All right, so let's jump into our DC. This is actually a few months older book that I just got, and the reason I just got it in is because you can see it has Mark Waid's signature. So I actually have the entire first 6 issues all signed, and so I'm going to review them now because they all came all 6 together. So I will be reviewing all 6, even though they're a few months old. So this starts out with Billy Batson, who is Captain Marvel, also known as Shazam. Of course, he can't say his own name. Why don't you just call him Shazam? Hi, I'm Shazam. Of course, he would change immediately, so he can't say his own name unless he's changing back and forth. So we start out with him riding a dinosaur. Okay, so I was already kind of put off by this, and then we find out that they're actually aliens, dinosaurs. This was actually the baby dinosaur who he saved from falling off a cliff. And then the parents, once he returns the child to the parents, they are reunited, and he's all proud of himself there. Of course, it does look like the old 70s 60s Captain Marvel there. Of course, the whole thing with Captain Marvel all got messed up because, Marvel did their version of Captain Marvel. And of course, they released their movie first, so it's all a big to-do. But anyway, he ends up having tea with them. And the tea is, it's made of dung of certain type. So, yeah. It's like that. But anyway, they go off in their flying saucer. Yes, the dinosaurs with teeny arms are controlling a flying saucer. So just whatever. So he brings the coffee cup or whatever else home. I thought that was a pretty funny thing with you see his legs carrying the teapot or whatever else he was. Why would the tiny arms need a handle like that? I have no idea. But I guess he put, a TV in there and a bowling alley and all this stuff into the Rock of Eternity. The gods, of course, are none too happy about that. And then we get this really awkward thing about how he got the name Captain. So he got it apparently because he was being made fun of, and they called him, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," and that's how that happened. So I guess Freddy can't change anymore. So, except for Mary, Mary's the only one that has the powers now because something happened on Lazarus Planet that I don't care about. But anyway, that's why I said the gods are not very happy with the fact that he turned the Rock of Eternity into a man cave. So there's that. Uh, and we get, you know, some, day in the life of him being Billy Batson at school. And Tawny used to be like a real talking tiger, like actually on four legs. But I guess they changed him now to just being like a humanoid tiger talking. I guess he is the butler. I don't know. So we get this thing about how he's saving people and stuff like that, and he's doing stuff online, talking to people that have been saved by Shazam. I guess because he's getting some views, he's bringing in a little bit of money and stuff like that. I thought this panel was pretty good. And then he goes to save some people, and we're getting to the end of the issue now. But we get some really good heroic stuff in here, which Mark Waid is good at doing, where he saves a child, etc. And something happens to him here. So he's on camera, he lowers this child down, and that's some bad space age stuff. And the woman comes over to him and says, "Oh, you're a hero. Thank you so much." And he just changes personalities completely and smacks her across the face and yells at her and says, "You should be bowing before me. You're ungrateful, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "Oh, what the hell just happened to me?" And I'm not even kidding about the fact that he smacks her across the face, because in that bottom panel there, you can see that he literally smacks her across the face. So we have a mystery now about why he's acting out of character. The artwork by Dan Moore is excellent. Of course, it's the same guys, the same creative team that does Batman, Superman, World's Finest. And I've always liked Captain Marvel. I thought he was kind of an underrated character. However, I was used to the older version where he actually turned into an adult, both in mind and body, and not just in body and not mind. So, of course, this is more following the movie version, which I'm getting used to, I guess. But this is not the same Captain Marvel I grew up with, where it was basically Superman, but he could change from a boy into, a man version. And, this is, I guess, to differentiate him from Superman, because originally DC didn't own the character, and they made their own Superman, and then it was acquired. So now I guess they're trying to differentiate it, and they're saying, okay, well, if they make him in the mind of a child, then we differentiate him from Superman all right off the bat. So I'm interested in it to see where it goes. I do like Mary Marvel also, so I kind of wish that she was in here as well, but this looks like it's more going to be a solo adventure. Will it make a good film? I think that the Shazam films are done. I think the last one lost enough money that they're not going to revisit that anytime soon, which is unfortunate because I thought that it had potential. Having all of the kids in there got a little bit too much. Like if they just had Mary, Freddie, and Billy, I think it would have been better. Just the three of them. When they started adding in all the others, it just gets too awkward. It gets to be too much. All right, so I like it so far, but I guess we'll find out why he's acting weird. All right, so let's jump into Alien. This is the end of this run. Thank God for that. This run has not been very good, and it's taking off the previous run where we had a family with a android, but we didn't know he was a synthetic. He had one arm. We find out now that why he has one arm, because he was actually involved with a fight with an alien before, a xenomorph. And they were doing research, and the woman impregnated herself with an alien, so she died. And now the only person left is the daughter, and this is now years later. So she changes her name to get back on the planet to try to find the synthetic who she really had like a father figure with, but she didn't know he was a synthetic at the time. So now at the end, she does discover that he was a synthetic, and then gets on the mission here. That's like an extraction, salvage of a ship, of their ship that's underneath the ice. So of course Uton or whatever else is trying to find it and to get the aliens themselves, so they know the aliens are in there. Of course, it's not going well. People are dying right and left, and she finds him, but is also cornered by the head, who's the head of the corporation, who is younger in here. And of course, he was trying to find the android too, so he was basically using her to do that. And we also find out that his female henchman there is also a synthetic. So meanwhile, everybody's dying from trying to get this extraction up. It's not going well at all. And meanwhile, we have this other fight going on. So everybody and the rest of the thing is all dead. They're all dead. These are the people left. And then we have these white aliens. They're about to have a fight outside while the fight's going on here. So she tries. So Zasha is the redhead. She's trying to fight the android, and Dylan, who's the male android, who has now been plugged in there and hasn't been able to repair himself for years, uses only his legs to entrap the other synthetic, and then Zasha finishes the job. So meanwhile, we have this brood, huge alien that's getting attacked by the other xenomorphs, and it's not having a good day because those things are brutal. Yeah, and then Paul Reiser's writing a What If Aliens. Yeah, I'll pass on that. I don't know why actors think the writers. But, so that we go back to a flashback of Dylan with the one arm. He crosses across the line, and the military guys are like, no, don't. And he hits the button with his good hand and kills it. So I think that's why he was banished or whatever. So he tells Zasha to run, and she finally does, because he started a self-destruct. Meanwhile, like I said, the white alien is not having a good day. As big as it is, those things are ripping it to shreds. And we find out, too, that the young Yutani boss there is also a synthetic. So everybody's a synthetic now. I mean, come on, man. How many synthetics are in this thing? So she gets to the very end and she's like, stops. And even though this thing's going to explode and everything like that, she decides to go back. That's really, really intelligent as far as I'm concerned. So they fight in the thing, even though the other guy's got one arm and no legs for the most part. The alien fight continues. Literally, they're poking through his neck. There's, as big as it is, that thing's done for. We go back into the ship and we see a flashback of how the family was and how we first met them. Now, why would synthetics be able to grow beards? Now, I can understand having the beard, like it's placed there, but growing it, I don't know about all that. So they have a moment, and she says, "I'm going to die with you," because he also has killed the Yutani guy up on top. And she's like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die with family, etc. And then I told you the alien, that thing's done, man. That thing is done. So, and then we switch back, to the actual Yutani guy who's actually old. That's the synthetic was built around his likeness. And then we get this awkward page of, their faces and, they're all dead now. So, the entire epic ending takes place on the ship, or in the little teeny room of the ship with the little fight going on. And then we have the aliens fighting each other. Who cares? Who cares? And then they all get killed anyway. And so literally by the end, nobody's left. Like, what the hell? Okay, whatever. So would this make a good? No, man. I didn't even like. I'm hoping now that we get on track now because this has not been good. Not been good. I don't even know what the cover is, man. None of that big alien there is not even in the book. All right, so let's jump into Conan. This is number 7. This is by Titan. This is by Jim Zub, I believe, and this has been really good. So in the last issue, he's part of a thievery group. I forgot the name of it. And they steal this artifact. They tell nobody to touch it, or at least he says don't touch it because it might affect you. And they sell it off. But I guess the thing does affect them because he's in bed with one of the female members. And at the last frame, we see her about to kill him. So she's got a knife and she's about to kill him. So I guess he wasn't that good. But the ghost did talk to him. So we go back now and we see her taking the knife out. But then she's just playing around. And I think this was actually a different woman. This might be Belit, who he was on the ship with, not the woman that was actually part of the thievery group. And then we switch back, so it's almost kind of like, I'm gonna throw you a red herring, like maybe that didn't happen, but it definitely did. He smacks the shit out of her, even though he gets stabbed in the back. And he's like, I really don't want to hurt you, but whatever. And then the guy comes in to complain, and she slashes his tongue off. Not having a good day. Probably he shouldn't have done it. And he slams her in the back. I guess he kills her because he just keeps pounding on her. So even if she's not dead, she pretty much looks it. So he goes outside. He's dealing with more crap. And we get a flashback, and he's kind of walking the city, and he finds an emblem of the thievery group. So he's like, oh, finally. So he goes in there, and he finds everybody dead, except for 2 members who are also now possessed, and they've killed everybody, and there's even a guy hanging headless thing. What I do like about this is that they don't shy away from the violence. But I guess those 2 guys killed it, and they see they have the white eyes. So he goes in and fights them. Like that with sound effects. So he cuts them off at the legs and all this other stuff. I think they get one good slash, and yeah, right. One gets his back is probably screwed up right now. But he hits one, but he gets slashed in the back by the other. So he dives to the ground and cuts them off at the ankles, and we see that the one is that's not completely dead or whatever else gets up, and the ghosts come out of it, and they tell him, that we're impressed with his prowess, and then they possess him. So pretty cool. So we're left with a possessed Conan at the end. And I really like the writing on this. This and the Red Sonja really have been really good lately. I also like the Fire and Ice stuff that Dynamite's doing. So the sword and sorcery genre is pretty good in comics lately. So if you like that genre, there's obviously, and they're doing Savage Sword of Conan now too as like a spinoff. So let's recap real quick. So Conan the Barbarian, number 7. Yeah, it's been good. I would love to see. Now I'm waiting to see where the whole thing goes with the ghosts and the possession, but overall it's been pretty good. Alien, no, I'm waiting for the new run on that one so we get back on track. And Shazam, of course, we won't see a movie again. And this was okay. I'm waiting to see where we're going to go with the storyline because I can't tell from the first issue. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me. Hopefully, I've been semi-entertaining. And and remember that Lords of LA is on Indiegogo right now. I may be shifting to fund my comic, but I'll let you guys know if that happens. But either way, I'll have the Indiegogo running. The link is in the description below. If you can support that, that would be great. And I will be sending autographed copies out. And also Mark Spears and I are doing a card game based on his classic Monsters art set. This is going to be a deck builder area control. It's going to be lots of fun. It's going to be from 1 to 5 players. I've been play testing it. I've been dealing with the rule book, dealing with my manufacturer who is now fallen face the earth. So I don't know. I hope this doesn't push anything back. All right. Well, thank you guys again for watching. Check out some of my other videos. I also did Lisa Frankenstein recently and some previous comics as well, like Thundercats, etc. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys have an awesome weekend. Bye.